Welcome to the Curly Hair Q&A show. I am your host, Ken Nichols, and I'm here with Melanie Nichols. She is the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in beautiful Naples, Florida. It's one of the top curly hair salons in the country, and Melanie is one of the top curl and American board certified hair color experts anywhere in the world. She is also the founder of the Raw Curls brand of natural and organic curly hair products that can be found at rawhairorganics.com. So, this is show number 198. If you've been following along, we're 2 away from our 200th anniversary show.
Oh boy, another anniversary.
Another anniversary. So it's going to be a busy month. It looks like that will be the last show of the month, I think. I'm pretty sure. So,
And then, guess a fun fact, we'll start right off. This coming year in March, I will have my new location salon open for 5 years.
oh my God,
It'll be
you're
my
right.
5-year anniversary.
Wow. We're a year full of anniversaries.
Yeah, so I need to
Oh my
have
gosh.
something special.
A party?
Yeah, a party.
We could have a party. Maybe
Not
we'll do that.
really.
No. You know what? Well, we could. We could actually have a party kind of episode, and maybe we'll tell the real story about how that salon came together and why and how difficult it was. It was not easy.
Or maybe we could just celebrate that we've been open for 5 years.
Yeah, you could, because then I just get angry and
Yeah. We've
vengeful.
moved past that, Ken.
We are past that? Are we?
Yes.
Are we?
Well, I am.
Okay, good for you. Good for you and
No
your
need
brother.
to rehash.
Right. Anyway, so thanks for joining us. If you're new to the show this week, welcome. We are a 2019 award-winning podcast as well as a weekly video show, and we are the internet's only weekly curly hair Q&A show where industry experts answer your curly textured hair questions. So if you want to listen to the podcast version of the episode, if you're watching it now live in the Curly Girl Support Group on Facebook or the live stream on Instagram at Raw Curls, you can watch it there. Can't answer your questions there, but we can see you and you can watch us. It's a good viewer experience, and you can also watch us live on YouTube at the Curly Hair Q&A Show YouTube channel, and we do try to answer questions there as well. That is your best viewing experience, and if you are watching on YouTube, we would really appreciate it if you would click the like thumb, give us a thumb, and click the subscribe button, because that helps the elusive algorithms on YouTube, which keep others from seeing us if you guys don't subscribe. So we'd really appreciate you subscribe there. We've got almost 3,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool.
Yay. Thumbs
So
up.
I need to talk about that more. Yeah, so give us a thumbs up. As I was saying, a podcast version, usually by midnight tonight, this episode will be up, midnight Monday night Eastern time. And you can find that on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio. I listened to it on iHeartRadio this week for the first time.
Oh.
Only because I usually listen on Stitcher, and for some reason I would punch it in and it wouldn't come up. It kept coming up with some woman talking about living with curly hair. She wasn't even talking about it. Was more of like a book.
We got hijacked?
I don't know. The search wasn't working. But anyway, so yeah, first time I listened to it on iHeartRadio, and that's a good experience. Radio Public, Podcast Addict, and SoundCloud. So yeah, live stream or the podcast. And on the Curly Hair Q&A YouTube channel, all of our 198 episodes are archived there, as well as about, what have I always said, about 100? There's about 100 of the daily curly hair Q&A question of the day are there as well, which is really, really good. And we're actually going to be starting that again. I got one of the people on my staff who does these kinds of things, got us a whole big list of the top curly hair questions, like 100 or more.
Wow.
And he sent them to me, and he said, Have Melanie do these individually.
News to me.
All right.
So there we go.
All right. Thanks, Dan. Appreciate it.
All right.
Appreciate you giving us more work.
More work.
But anyway, he's the algorithm guru. So if he says do them, we're doing them.
Okay.
But yeah, so watch for those. We'll be doing plenty of those coming up, and those will be on the Curly Hair
Those
Q
are
Nation
fun,
channel.
actually. I like it because it's just, quick, cut
Yeah.
and dry. That's more me.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? We the way we used to do those, you guys probably don't know. I don't think we've ever talked about this. When we did those 100, what we would do is we would do the show on Monday night like this, and because we had everybody here, we had the engineers in the studio, we had everything hooked up in the studio and running, and we were here, which is really really hard to get. I mean, just to get Melanie and I together where we have the time, where you've got us locked down to actually do something.
Right.
We would do them like right after. So we take like a 5-minute break, get a drink of water, stretch, come back, and we would knock out 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, we would do a week's worth.
Yeah, we'd do like a week's worth. Yeah, like 7. Yeah, we'd do like 7 of them, and we could get some of them. They'd be minute and a half. Some would be maybe 5 minutes if it was a longer answer, and then we just I don't even know why I was COVID. We stopped doing them, which is when we kind of locked down everything. But we're going to start doing those again. We're going to get a bunch of those up. You know why? Because they're good for the algorithms.
Oh.
I can't believe when we started the show, I mean, it was really just to answer, curly hair questions, blah, 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 blah. Now it's like serious. Now we have to like pay attention to stuff.
It's
so
getting real in the Whole Foods parking
it's
lot.
getting real in the whole, God, don't get that in my head. It's getting real in the Whole Foods parking lot. Yeah. So anyway, so that's it. Hey, let's see here. First of all, Raw Curls Academy. If you are a licensed professional hairstylist and you have not had specific curly hair training, you might want to check out the Raw Curls Academy classes. We teach a 2-day curly hair workshop, and we teach you pretty much everything you need to know to get started in servicing curly hair clients. It can be found at
To be proficient, not even to get started. To get started, a lot of times there's little look and learn classes, but this is an all-encompassing, intensive.
that was the one. Whoever's in the control room that was clicking on the
click.
icon, that was the icon. You were on it. You're on the right one. But we've got classes coming up, and I'll tell you when they are.
January, February, March.
They're January and February and March at this point. I think I'm going to book an April one tomorrow. Yeah, that one's good enough right there. Yeah, we've got dates coming up, January, February, March. January is booked. We don't have any openings. I've got the third week of February, Sunday and Monday, I've got spots open for that in Naples, Florida at the salon. And March as well, I've got 3 dates available. I usually have the cards here, but I don't have them because I had all this other stuff. But I've got dates available in March, and it looks like April, May, June, we're going to be on the road. I'm not going to announce the cities yet, but I believe Boston's going to be one of them, probably April.
Really?
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out right now. So anyway, so
Supposed to go to Jonathan's wedding party.
that's kind of up. No, it's not up that way. It's a DC. Well, we'll see what happens.
Virginia.
Virginia, same thing. DC. We'll figure it out. But anyway, if you need training, we're the place to go to. It's the least expensive and the most comprehensive. So anyway, Raw Curls Academy. Raw Curls. rawcurls.com/academy is where you sign up, and the spots are very, very limited thanks to COVID. So
That's my new thing. Have scissors
yeah.
and comb will travel.
Yeah, and that's pretty much the deal. Oh, so hurricane. Yeah, we survived the hurricane last week.
Someone told me today there's a Category 5 coming.
It's a 5 coming. Yeah,
Oh my gosh!
It's in
Shane
Honduras
was
now, I
talking
think.
about that. Yeah, Honduras.
I'm hoping it's
That
not
is
heading this
so
way.
weird. Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. You know what?
November.
Yeah, I mean, it's hurricane season's over. It's been over for almost 3 weeks. It's been over.
I've heard different things. I always thought it was the beginning of November. Now I heard it was the end of
I
November.
always thought it
But
was-
anyway, there's a big hurricane.
There's a big one
What's
coming.
the name of it?
I can't remember.
Last one was
Something
Eta.
weird. It's like Zeta,
Mm.
I think. Alpha, Beta, Zeta, something. like that.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, that's coming. I'd like to take a second and thank our lawn and landscape guys for cleaning up the mess, because I thought I was going to have to do it Saturday. I'd been saying all week. I'm like,
I
oh,
thought you were
I'm
going to
dreading
thank our
this.
veterans.
dragging this. I didn't get to
Thank you
that
to
point.
the veterans. That's like,
Yeah,
you know,
thank you to the veterans. Our Veterans Day parade was actually canceled. Gosh, I wish I was thinking of it. I'd show you a picture of Melanie and I and Miley and Murphy Murph
it
in the
came
Veterans
up.
Day.
I saw it.
Did you?
Yeah,
Sitting
it
in the
came up
car?
on my Facebook.
Yep.
In the green machine.
Yeah, we took our hot rod and cruised in the parade, the Veterans Parade, with a bunch of our other car club friends, and both the dogs were with us. Had time of their lives.
That's right.
It was a lot of fun.
They had their little patriotic scarves on.
So anyway, so thank you, veterans. Appreciate your
Yes.
service. All right. Do you have any fun facts or anything you want to go over? You want to tell us anything interesting about your week, or you want to get into questions?
We can get into questions because we've already shared some fun facts.
Okay, good. All right. If you've got a question, post it in the comment section of the live feed, the live stream in the Curly Girls support group. And Helen, if you can hear me, if you're watching the live stream, if you're monitoring the live stream on the YouTube channel, if any questions come up on there, get them to me as well. So hello. All right. We'll wait for a couple of questions. There's one question here. I'll answer that. And I'll answer that now. So Faye is asking, is that a body wash there? Yes, it is. It's the new Rawganics organic fragrance-free body wash that is on rawganics.com. I'll have Helen post a link to rawganics.com. Believe it or not, tomorrow morning, at some point, maybe even late tonight, tomorrow morning, this should be available for purchase on the rawganics.com website. This is a 16-ounce bottle, and I use it every single day. I
hasn't been on
love
there?
it, love it.
Well, to me, it
It's
can
not
also
been
be
on there.
used as a 3-in-1, an all-in-one. So
Yes.
I like to tell people that.
Yep. So
Because
anyway,
guys
so that's what
typically
it is.
like all-in-ones.
Yeah, I don't because, well, I'm a hair guy. But yeah, that's a really, really good body wash. I use it every day. I took a picture of it the other day and put it on my Instagram. I'm like, this is what my shower looks like. We need another shelf.
Yes, you
There's
were
so much
supposed
stuff
to
in there.
buy
I need
one.
to- I've been looking. All right, let's talk about one other thing while we're waiting for questions. Now, I had talked about for the longest time that we were going to be coming out with a Raw Curl starter kit that had Wavy Swavy cleanser, Wavy Swavy conditioner, and mousse in it. For those of you who hang around in the curly hair groups, you saw that those did go live first thing Saturday morning. Here they are. They are both 5-pack kits. I said for years, for those of you who have followed us for the longest time, I said for years I'd never do it. Never do it because it's too expensive. I know it's hard to understand, but believe it or not, these little 3-ounce bottles, which are actually big for a starter kit, these 3-ounce bottles literally cost us right about the same amount as a full size, just because of all the other steps involved. You know, somebody's got to grab it, somebody's got to fill it, somebody's got to, right? It
So
doesn't
he
make
went
sense.
behind my back and did it.
Yeah. So I did it. Enough people asking, and there was a reason behind my madness. But so
Those
we
little
came out.
mousses are cute though.
Yeah. So we came out with 2 kits, and one of them has firm gel in it. One of them has medium gel in it. It's the same price as the other 5-pack kit, which is really nice. It's yeah, just so you guys know, these are not money makers for us. These are try these and buy full size ones. So don't buy 10 of these kits in a year. But you know what? That little baby mousse looks so little, and you think, God, how long is that going to last?
Oh God,
It's
it
going to last
probably lasts
forever.
You know,
It'll
this
last
is what
forever.
size we should sell our mousse bottle as for the regular price. Yeah, because our mousse bottle is so big, and it
Yeah.
literally. Somebody asked me the other day. She said she's had it for like 3 or 5 years. I'm like, oh.
I
She
don't
said,
even
is
know
that
how
going to go bad?
Yeah,
It's
it
supposed
should.
to.
Should.
Supposed to. It's probably like water now, but
Right.
you know,
Right.
it didn't smell rancid. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it lasts so long, and that's like the only type of pump or like bottle type thing where goes all the way to the end. So you don't get like close, 3/4 of the way through the bottle and then it stops
Yeah.
pumping. It goes all the way to the end. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
I
So
can't believe you found those though.
I can't believe, and I
I
talked
was
about that
I've
before.
been
It was a
hoarding.
complete fluke that I
Yeah.
found them because I wouldn't have, had I not found those bottles, I would have never made that kit.
No.
Those Moose foamers.
I've been
Yeah.
saving the facial cleanser because that comes in a foamer
Because of
bottle.
foamer.
Yeah, and I've been saving that for people because they were asking me for smaller bottles.
Yeah, I mean, because you've seen these, but that's a really, really good quality foamer.
Yeah.
It was a fluke. Somebody I know. I told this
awesome.
before. Somebody that I know that's in the business. I had been looking for some other bottles because of COVID. Everybody's scrambling who makes products, trying to find stuff. And we were talking about some other stuff, and he said, "Hey, you asked me a few years ago about mini Moose foamers." He said, "You want those?" I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "I found some in the back." I'm like, "Yes, please."
Wow.
And I took them all. And now we have them. So now you have always wavy head. Now I'm going to throw one other thing out there, and I'm not, because I'm good at throwing out hints, and then I won't tell you anything else about it.
Breaking news.
This is
That's-
breaking news because I have not said
Everything's breaking news.
this. Everything's breaking news. This is breaking news, and I haven't told anybody else about this yet. Melanie knows because we've been discussing it, but we've got 5 starter kits. It would go really, really well with a starter kit for people, trying out, higher quality products like Raw Curls or any of these higher quality water soluble products. You know what? The only thing that's missing, would be
A clarifier?
a clarifying shampoo in a
I
little
got
bottle.
a trivia question, right?
I wonder if anybody would ever come out with a clarifying shampoo in a little mini bottle just to get started.
Good idea.
Hmm.
And people don't always need a huge bottle of clarifier.
That's why this would be a really good idea if somebody would do this. Nobody does this. Nobody's come up with a little tiny.
I bet I bet it's going to be all over the place now.
Of course.
Because that's what happens. We come up with something and then everybody comes out with it.
I'll tell you guys another fun. Here's a fun fact for those of you who haven't been around, and the people who have been around remember this. Did you know Raw Curls was the first curly hair product company to come out with a line for wavy hair? And everybody will say, "No, you didn't. It was Diva Curl. They came out with Delight."
They had labels as soon as they found out that we had fine hair.
I'll tell you this.
Wavy
Okay,
product.
I'll tell you the story. I can, especially since all the ownerships changed and whatever. Here's what happened. So we came out with it, and we started talking about it a little in the groups, and we were getting ready to launch it. We had already created it. We already had it. We already had it done. We were literally packaging it, right? And this would have been the end of March. Well, like the first week of May, my publicist at the time is in New York City, got an alert on her phone that there was a new product launch coming, and they were alerting the press to meet at One World Trade Center in the lobby, and they were going to, have the product release of the new Diva Curl product, and all these media people showed up, and my publicist called me, and she said, "Hey, I'm at this Diva Curl product launch that they just did a pop-up of it," and she told me, she said, it's for wavy and curly hair. It's called Delight. I'm like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, they're calling it the first of its kind." I'm like, "Really?" And she said, "But that's not the best part." I said, "What's the best part?" She said, "Well, I reached onto the table to grab the bottles because I wanted to see it and smell it. They're empty." And the person behind the table said they haven't even created it yet. They just knew they had to come out with it. So they made up some labels, put them on some bottles, and said, "It's coming." They copied us.
Well, who knows?
True story. Am I
Maybe
lying? Am I lying?
No, you're not. Maybe they had it in the works, but we, had.
We were first.
Yeah, we had it obviously a long time before that because you don't just whip it up tomorrow and bring it out.
Yeah, it takes like a year.
Yeah, it takes a while. So, that was just something that I realized a long time ago that a lot of the curly hair products, all of the curly hair products basically were really geared towards the thicker, coarser, heavier hair. And then there's so many, 60% of people have some kind of curls. So there's not just one curl type. There's also people that have the waves and the finer hair. And so they need a different product. The other, curly hair products were just too heavy for them. So more choices, but yeah. So we realized that
I'll never forget
a
that
long time
day.
ago.
I'm like, you're
Yeah,
kidding. She's like, I'm standing
they
here
have
right now
labels.
holding it as I'm
Hmm.
talking to you. It's empty. And they're
Hmm.
telling me they don't even have it yet.
Yeah. Mm. Good
Anyway,
marketing.
it was good marketing.
They have good, marketing
Uh-huh.
budgets.
So maybe I'm going to do that next.
And you're just gonna have the
Well,
bottle, the empty
I kind
bottle.
of just did,
You
but
did. You don't even have
I
the
don't even have
label.
a label.
Yeah, you're no better. See? Oh, don't be talking about other
Nobody else has
people.
got it
We
yet,
have
though?
an empty bottle and a labelless, a naked bottle.
We don't have a name. We don't have a label.
How sad.
Anything.
How
All right.
sad.
All right. Can you give us some questions so we can? Oh, you do? I do have some.
Oh,
Okay.
good.
All right. Melanie, what's the best way to apply antifrizz spray? Good question.
Okay, so there's anti-frizz spray can be used in a couple different ways, and that's what's so great about our products. They have multifunctions. So that's always the first product that I use as far as styling the hair out of the shower. I call it setting the curls up for success. So on wet hair, that's going to be your detangler and light leave-in conditioner. So soaking wet hair, you're either going to spray it right into the hair generously, if you like the way that it comes out of the pump and spraying it into your hair. Otherwise, you could spray it into your hand and just saturate the hair with it with your hands. So you're going to do that, then activate it either with your fingers or a wide tooth comb or a wet brush or whatever tool you use to detangle your hair. Don't pull and snap. Make sure if you hit a snarl or a tangle, then you're going to, if that means you need to spray some more right in that spot or add some more. Then it can also be used to refresh your curls on non-wash days. So that way it's already in the hair, but you can refresh on dry hair. Today was my wash hair day, so I put it on my wet hair. Now tonight I'm going to sleep with my pineapple. I'm going to take my hair down tomorrow, shake it out, take the anti-frizz spray, and I like to spritz it in my hands and then run my hands over my hair because I like to moisten it and then, twirl my curls and refresh them, and that's it. Again, you could spray it right into your hair, but it's important that you need to activate the product. So don't just spray and walk away. It will do nothing. So you need to put it in the hair so that it's moist, run your hands over, twirl, refresh, and then you're good to go. It will totally immediately calm down that frizz and refresh your curls. So those are the ways that I use the anti-frizz spray.
Okay. All right. I've got a couple of questions here. I'm just trying to figure out how to word them properly here. All right. All right. Okay. I have a question. I have fine hair and I have a lot of it. I think it's 2C, 3A curly. I like minimal care. Can you show me, or recommend, I guess, a good short to above shoulder level cut appropriate for a 55-year-old young lady? Got any ideas?
Well,
Would you
yeah,
do
but I
that?
can't really show it on the show.
So what would you do? Would you do a bob? Would you do
Well, there's lots of options. I mean, so you're my twin. I have 2C3A hair, so it must look like mine. And well, you're just a few years older, but I'm going to be, 51 soon. So you have lots of options. You can, bring it up to like collarbone is nice. It depends on your face shape too. There's other things that go into play according to what style you're going to wear. Whether you want to bring it up shorter, there's a gazillion different styles. So, age isn't just, the only factor. I have women that are older than I am with long hair and it looks beautiful. It all depends what your lifestyle is, low maintenance. Okay. So, it sounds like you kind of want to just wash and go, let it air dry. Again, curly hair is pretty good for that. So I would still say you have so many options for styles. Length is just going to be determined what you're comfortable with, what your face shape is. Someone that has a very round face and a thicker neck, you're not going to want to have it shorter than like shoulder length. You want to elongate. So, it's hard to say. I can't really answer that question. There's so many, just, try to find someone. The best thing is try to find someone, a picture that has similar hair to you and a similar face shape, and pick out things that you like. I mean, you can go with bangs, without bangs, layers, not
What about Sideswept?
side swept bangs. You can have, all kinds of different things. A bob, inverted bob. Layered, not as layered. So, yeah, there's. I just did someone's hair. Even a short style was so cute. So depending on what you're comfortable with, lots of options.
Okay. I'm going to ask you a couple of general questions throughout the night here that have come through in the last day or two that didn't really come in question form, but I'm going to bring them out for discussion. Melanie, and this came from a stylist. Are you planning on having a booth at the Premiere Orlando show? I don't even remember when it is.
They canceled it. So
But then they rescheduled it, but I can't remember.
and then they canceled it
Is it next
altogether.
April or is it next November
No,
or is
no,
it
no. It
June?
was November, but then they canceled it altogether. So I'm guessing that they're gonna try to shoot for the normal time now, which would be in
May,
June,
Yeah, last weekend of May, first
the first
couple
weekend
days.
of June. Yeah. No, I don't plan on having a
No.
booth. So we've done that. We did, years of going around to all the hair shows, having the booths, teaching classes, doing the show. What do you call it? I don't know. Going from state to state, and
Yeah,
so no
the show circuit.
circuit. Yes. I don't think so. Not at this time, unless there was something special that came up. We have found it more beneficial to just do private classes. I'm very limited when it's very expensive. It's super expensive, super time consuming to do those hair shows. People really have absolutely no clue. But funny, actually, this is a fun fact. Because I was talking with one of my clients that was in the floral business, and she was sharing a story with me how she was sent to do a convention, and she got there, because they were really impressed with her work and whatever. And so they had just a little booth with a table, and she set up a couple vases with her floral arrangements, and then saw what everybody else was doing. And it was kind of like the hair show where, there's these multi-million-dollar booths, and there's like super
Yeah.
fancy setups. And
Yep.
and she was super humiliated. She just wanted to, crawl under the table and go home. But, we've been there, and I said, well, you can do nice things if you get creative on a low budget, because we've been there too. You know, there's like the Farouks and the Redkins and Matrix and all that, and Paul Mitchell, and
Farouk spends $250,000 a show
yeah,
for the booth
for the
space
booth space.
alone.
So, I mean, they have, teams to set up and tear down, and stages and music and all the. I mean, it was the two of us to do everything. And so we had a table, but we were creative, and, we're really good at thinking about marketing. And so what we did was, bring one of Ken's collector cars, and we had a 50s and 60s theme to go along with our Rods Grooming for Men. And we had so much attention in our booth that some of those multi-million-dollar booth owners came over and actually said we had the best booth.
Yep.
And then guess what everyone
Yep.
did next year? They all brought
Started
a
bringing
car.
classic cars.
Right.
Yep.
So, it's just a matter of thinking outside of the box and being creative. And, Ken was nice enough to allow people to actually sit in the car and touch it, which is unheard of. Usually they have them roped off.
They have them roped off. I didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
let
was
'em-
a little nervous about that, I have to say, but it worked out. So,
Yeah, it worked. It actually worked out really, really well, and we did that for a lot of years.
yeah.
And I'm gonna, if you are watching this on the live stream on on Facebook in the Curly Girl support group, I'm gonna post a link right now. And
To what,
you
the car?
probably haven't seen this in forever.
Well,
But I'm
anyway,
gonna
we
post a
had
link.
so much fun. My mom even came and worked the booth, and we, danced to the 50s and 60s sock hop music. We were little pinup girls. We just had a blast. And so we drew a lot of attention, it was
Yeah.
fun.
I
And everybody, remember when you they had him, we had to tear down our booth first and get the car out of there, because you also don't know. It's like absolute, oh gosh. It's
I just posted a
absolute.
link to this in
You
the comments.
did?
Yes.
Oh, we're doing the wobble.
That's Melanie's mom.
Yay!
The older white woman.
Yeah,
That's
not
Melanie's
the
mom.
young.
Not the young black woman.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, there's one of our cars. That was so
That was a lot of
fun.
fun.
You can't play that on here?
I don't know, Helen.
That is
If you
fun.
want, you can, but you
Yeah.
just tell me ahead of time.
Yeah, yeah,
If
do
you
it.
if you find that link, Helen, you can. If you'd
So,
like.
but then when they had Ken take the car out first because it becomes absolute chaos in the convention center. The second the show is over, like there are forklifts driving around and everyone's tearing up the car because you have like you got to get your stuff out packed up and out of there quickly. So they had him take the car out first so that it wouldn't get, dinged. And everybody stood around and clapped and it was really fun.
You want to see? You want to see a
Murphy
picture
had-
of that, or a video? We have video.
Yeah.
of that too.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Was that me driving the car out?
Yeah, you and Malcolm.
Oh, yeah. Me and Malcolm.
I'll post the link to it. You guys can
Aw,
look. It's
that
funny.
was so fun.
That was a lot of fun. But they're a
I
ton
do
of
miss
work.
it. It was fun. But
Yeah, they're
no.
a ton of work. They're expensive, and I'll tell you a fun fact for those of you who maybe are in the business and are maybe considering these shows or whatever. Here, this will you're not going to believe this, but it is the absolute 100% truth. The most I don't want to say profitable, but that's probably the right word. Probably the most beneficial show for us to do actually was a show I did at the last minute on a fluke, and it was me and Murphy and Miley. We took our little old we used to have an old little RV, and I drove that thing out to the Iowa State Fairgrounds, I think, in Des Moines, the convention center, and I did a little show.
I don't remember.
I drove all the way to Iowa. I did a little show in Des Moines, and I couldn't believe I had to keep running out to get more products out of the RV. I couldn't believe it. It was better than any hair show we ever did.
So
And I slept in the parking lot
Another
with the
fun
dogs.
fact about shows is a lot of times the booths get robbed.
Oh God.
Yeah. So there are people that steal products. So anyway, you have a loss, and anyway. But one time, a lady tried to do it right there while we were like working the booth. Ken, I don't know where you were. You were, I think, crawling under the table or something.
Yeah.
Yes, he was crawling under the table to get something. Again, it was just the two of us.
At Anaheim, right?
Yes.
Anaheim.
I stepped across the
Convention
aisle
Center.
to talk to the natural nail girl because she had natural nail polish. So I was interested in that. And so I was facing our booth, but it looked like nobody was there. And I saw this woman walk up and try to steal a 32-ounce bottle of cleanser
Yeah,
or shampoo.
something expensive.
She like literally like walked up and then hit it in her arm and tried to keep walking. I was like, so I ran after her and I was like, I confronted her and she's tried telling me that she thought it was a sample. A 32-ounce bottle, I don't think is a sample. But the best part about it is I should have let her have it because speaking of
Yeah, that's
empty
right.
bottles,
I forgot about
we
that.
had them filled with water. So it would have been great for her to get home and realize,
And send us an email and complain. Your products are no good. They're like water.
yeah, thief.
Thief.
Mm.
All right. Let's see. Melanie, got a question about 2C pattern curls. Hold on. I can't see. Sorry.
Ooh.
I know. I have to see my screen. So sorry about that. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out how to get them behave naturally. Uses a shampoo with pretty natural ingredients, and then comb and scrunch through the curls and let them air dry. But it usually ends up pretty frizzy. And though I'm very cautious not to touch it with a towel, because I know that makes it frizzier. So if I'm someone that has 2C curls, can you give me a kind of a breakdown of what I should do and what I shouldn't do, and not just a product lineup, but kind of a step-by-step kind of tutorial?
Yeah, so I find a lot of times when people are having issues with frizz and not getting curl definition or they're and this they know that they say they're afraid they shouldn't be touching the hair. It is not the case when you're doing things properly and using the right products and having the right techniques applying those products. I know I've had people come to me in the salon that were terrified, when I was diffusing their hair. So many times I still get that where people are like, I don't diffuse my hair because it'll frizz up. And I'm like, okay, well, let me just try and I'll teach you how to do it right. If it frizzes up, well, then, we'll calm it down and fix it. But, we'll never do that again. Not once has that happened. Not once. They're usually like amazed. So I find that it's just a problem with either the products you're using or the application technique or both. So on 2C hair, I definitely would recommend using like a firm hold gel. I would recommend using a light leave-in conditioner. So in our Raw Curls line, you're going to use the anti-frizz spray. In other lines, something else similar that's like a liquid spray leave-in. And then a firm gel on top of that, because you're going to get the strongest hold. You're going to get the best curl definition and the strongest hold. So that way, and then this all needs to be applied to very wet hair. So you're sealing in that moisture. You're getting that. You can see it as you're scrunching the hair with the product in. Everyone, I shared my Denman brush trick. That's a great way to make sure you evenly distribute the gel and the products and also get great curl definition and lift. So 3 things all in one. We have video of that somewhere, everywhere. And then, just properly scrunching it to, encourage the curls. And then I like to use the flour sack towel. After you have all your products applied, you're flipping your head upside down, scrunching it just like once and gently squeezing. And that is just setting the curls and also removing any excess water. Your hair is like a sponge. It's only going to absorb as much as it can. So that's why we like to fill it with the water and then seal it with the gel. And then you can, taking that towel without disturbing it, and roughening it, just a gentle squeeze. You're going to remove anything excess. And then that's it. Flip your head up and you can, pin it, air dry it, however you want to finish.
Okay, good. There's a woman in here, Faye, had commented that she as well used to do those hair shows. And she said same thing. Yes,
Yeah.
very expensive and exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
It's a
Yeah,
fun,
they are.
exhausting for me. It's like
It
a
is.
shorter day than my normal,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of, high energy
Yep.
and it's so much fun. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
exhausting. Like by the time you leave, you can hardly walk.
Yeah.
Remember that time we had to get a taxi or an Uber to take us across the street
to eat. I swear to God, that absolutely happened.
That was with Dr. Suzanne and Roy. Oh my God, we've
Yeah.
had such fun
We
people
have.
come and help us in our booth.
We've had.
We just had people volunteer, and and we've just had wonderful people, and we had just so much fun. We
Every
did.
time. What's really funny is that there's people that follow us on Facebook and are still our Facebook friends that will comment on our stuff every single week that we met 10 years ago.
I just
who
saw something
volunteered
come
for
up
ours.
from Blue Valentine.
From Blue. Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've made a lot of friends,
Yeah.
and I know some of these people we've actually been able to help in their careers, because we tell them, use this for a reference, and I know at least 2 of them have. God, I can't remember that one kid's name.
Yeah, I know. I
He
can
did.
picture him. Starts with a C.
Yeah, I can't remember his
It
name.
always comes up.
But he, I know he
Comes up
did.
in my phone. Yeah.
He's like, yep, I
I
work
don't know
for
what
them, I
he's
know
doing
them.
now, but yeah.
But anyway, it is neat. Let's see. All
And
right.
of course, Roy and Suzanne. Oh my God. I mean, we had so much
Much fun.
fun. I didn't want the weekend to end, and we're still friends today. Hey, Roy. I don't know
Hey,
where
Roy.
he is or what he's doing.
I know where he is. He's in beautiful Raleigh, North Carolina.
Oh, he also has a place in Sarasota.
That's right. 'Cause
I
his
don't know.
parents-
And then he got his own product line. So I'm not
I may hit him up. Maybe we'll bring him on the show to talk.
Oh, that would be fun.
It'd be fun.
We
You guys, it'd be
we
fun.
have fun together.
We have fun together. All right.
We were like, I don't know, we're like long lost relatives or something. We just had this connection.
Okay. All right.
Oh, what is that kid's name? It's gonna drive me
I don't
crazy.
remember. Bear with me here. Let's
But
see.
also on Cantrell.
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 Yep.
He was working with Ergo for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But that's also the way that we met Chadwick from
Yeah.
We Dad.
Yep.
Yeah.
thing.
So
It pays to know us because we know people.
yeah, but I
We
mean,
have a
so
lot of connections.
it has been beneficial in different ways, not so much financially, product wise, to do the shows and stuff, but we made really great connections with people.
Yeah, lots. Yeah. All right. Okay. Let's see, Melanie. All right. Halo Frizz. Let's talk about Halo Frizz. Does that mean you need more moisture or protein? Your thoughts?
Moisture. So typically now, when your hair is frizzing up and that halo frizz, your hair is like reaching out for the moisture in the air. So that's why it's lifting, that's what it's desiring, is trying to grab the moisture. However, I'm going to throw a little wrench into that because, I've had people where they moisturize. Sometimes your hair type is the type that, it needs some protein. So if you're lacking protein as well, sometimes that's the missing link. You need to do a little protein treatment and then go back to your moisture. But, that can also help smooth down the hair because it needs to be healthy and fill in that protein part of the cuticle. So, if you're moisturizing all the time and you're still getting frizz, go and try adding a little bit of a protein treatment to your routine and see if that helps to fix the situation.
Okay. This is a good question here. Melanie, does scrunching activate the antifrizz spray molecule? That is a good question.
It does. However,
It does?
well,
I wouldn't have guessed that.
well, it does, but I don't recommend it.
Okay.
So I
That's a good answer.
never, yes, I would say that it does, but that is not what I recommend to do because, you don't want this action because that's not, this is what I tell my clients. You always want to smooth and hydrate curly hair. So this is not smoothing, so you want to smooth it down. The Raw Curls Anti-Frizz is about smoothing the hair and, you want to like smooth down the frizz. So, this action is not going to do that. So you want to, I never recommend scrunching it into the hair. And I've seen even my own girls do that. And I'm like, no, that is not what I recommend. You want to be applying it and smoothing it downward. That's how I would activate it. Even if you're using your fingers, always a downward motion.
Yeah. Okay. If you got any other questions, post them in the comments
Like
section.
you will
Going
see me.
from
Remember at the shows, back to the shows. Today's like talking about hair shows and
Yeah.
conventions. Like we would always have the Raw Curls Anti-Frizz spray bottle available. Well, because we did demonstrations with the steamer and everything too. But literally as people were walking by, I'd be like, hey, come on over here. And I would spray it in their hair and run my hands through their hair like this in a downward motion. You'll see me do that. Even when I'm cutting curly hair, to control it. If somebody comes in with it not really, properly prepared, I have to spritz that in the hair and, rehydrate it and see the curl pattern or control the flyaways or the frizz. But always I'm running my hands down it like that. So not this kind of motion.
down. Okay. Like a waterfall.
Yes, waterfall.
Okay. All right. Melanie, I'm a wavy girl and I feel like my hair looks great in the mirror, but when I take a picture, it looks like shizzle. McDizzle.
I'm not good at taking pictures either. I am not the selfie queen.
I am the worst. I am the least photogenic person in the entire planet.
Yeah. Like sometimes you think, oh man, like she's saying, your hair looks good or whatever. I'm just not into the selfie thing. I have to say, I'm not a millennial.
I'm way more attractive in person.
Yes. Yes.
No, really, seriously, I don't know. I'm not photogenic, and I know lots of people are, and I know that, and I know that halo frizz really shows up in pictures for some reason. I don't know if it's the high def or what it is.
I was going to say that high def is like torture, man. Now you can see every little wrinkle and, enlarged pore. You can probably see my little zit. I don't know, whatever. My puffy eyes and any little frizz. But, I mean, I am not one to obsess over the frizz. I know people aren't going to like to hear that, but let it go. Just accept it. I mean, do what you're supposed to do. But I mean, if I have one little hair that's frizzing out, I just, I can't obsess.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
can't obsess. But I don't know what to say. You know, if your hair, well, then just don't take pictures.
there's an answer.
Yeah. So if your hair looks good in real life
Right,
and it
right.
doesn't look good in pictures, then
Yeah. A stylist asked a question yesterday and said, I've got a hair color client that has a yellow smoker's ring around the perimeter of their face. What can I do? And I'll
around the
let
perimeter of their face.
yeah, the hair around the perimeter of her. And
Oh, I was
I'll
picturing
let
around the
I'll
mouth.
let Melanie answer that. But I told her, I said, well, 2 steps. I said,
Quit
step one,
smoking.
get rid of the cigarettes. Step 2,
Get rid of the cigarettes.
anyway, so what are your thoughts on that? Curly hair color, got a yellow ring around the perimeter of her face from smoking. What do you do?
Well,
You've had this issue
mhm.
with clients before, haven't you?
Yeah, it definitely affects the hair. It affects the texture of the hair. Their hair is always dry, always, dehydrated, a lot of times frizzy. You can smell it in the hair. But I've seen, yes, there can be a yellow cast of hair. So you're gonna have to clarify it. Either clarify it if that doesn't work.
Like a Malibu product?
Yeah, a Malibu product, Malibu Undo Goo, or
Crystal gel?
a crystal gel, yeah. Or the other one. Why do I always forget the name of it
Hard water wellness? No.
no, 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 not the Malibu product, in the orange bottle that we got from
Oh, from Dr.
Dr.
Saeed.
Saeed.
I don't know.
I
I can
always
never
forget
remember.
the name of it.
Dr. Saeed's thing.
Ugh.
He's only got a couple of products, and they're hard to
Because
find.
okay, so maybe it was more of it was not just a clarifier. I'm trying to think. Hmm.
I can never remember. We don't talk about it
Oh
enough.
gosh, I know. It's gonna drive me crazy. I can picture it, but I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, something that is gonna remove, chlorine, minerals, because that talked about specifically moving like cigarette smoke or, uh, build up, you can have effects from not drugs. Yeah, prescription drugs.
Hmm.
Sometimes there's effects in the hair from anesthesia, things like that. So, chelator. So either
Chelator,
a
yeah.
chelator along with a clarifier. So those are just some things to try. Otherwise, I've actually had people where I've had to tone their hair and get the yellow out. Now, in the old days, I had to use a color product. So an actual deposit only color.
What do you do now?
Nowadays, believe it or not, we have really cool shampoos that tone the hair. So I use a Viral. They have a silver, and that really takes the yellow out of the hair nicely. And so I, lost that service with one of my clients that I can think of because now she doesn't need me to color her hair because she buys the product. But good for her. So she buys the product, and that will take yellow out really nicely for white, like white and silver hair.
Yeah. Okay.
So those are some solutions.
Okay, good. All right, Melanie, can you do a video of a bad ingredient list,
Hmm.
like non-curly girl ingredient lists? A list of what are bad ingredients to look for?
Okay, yeah, because I have that as
We
part
could
of
do a
my,
curly Q&A thing.
I
Yeah.
have that as part of
Or
my
question of the day.
PowerPoint. Actually, yeah, it's in my student handbook.
Okay. You know what we'll do? We'll do a
If you have one, we could do it now. Not a video, but we'll do it another day.
yeah, we'll do it another day because I do
Uh-huh.
have it on at my desk outside the office here. But yeah, we could do that, and we could do when we start doing the curly hair question of the days again. We can do one like that that just lists those.
Yeah, that's true.
Not going to go into all the technicalities of it, but we'll give you the
Right,
basic list
right.
because that's really what anybody wants anyway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Let's-
like who was I? Oh, there was somebody calling to ask about the OWA hair color, whether it was paraben free. And it is. So, but we were getting into conversation and I thought, well, how technical do you want me to get? Because, I can get very technical about ingredients and, the pH, the color stuff. But typically people just want to know simplistic answers. I mean, even in classes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it can get very technical, which people's eyes kind of glaze over when you start getting into all that.
Happens every time I do a video.
Hmm.
It's good information, but it's too hard to listen to.
Yeah.
All right, Melanie, I have been using Curly Girl Method products for about 10 months now, as well as I stopped coloring my hair. I'm working remotely since March, and that has helped with the non-coloring.
Hmm.
I'm struggling to find products that work for me. I'm a 2B, 2C curly, and some wash days look great, and I'm lucky to get a day 2 that looks decent. I have had 2 curly cuts since July and cut off about 6 inches of my hair. I'm not getting the spring from my curl I thought I would, and I'm not clumping much. I think I have small hair family groups, so it makes it seem stringy. I've been using Interscent since July. Let's see. Any suggestions would be appreciated. Do you think a cut would help? She's in southern Maine, so not sure if the weather matters or where she'd go. But I'm going to show you. You guys won't see it, but I'm going to show you a picture. And Eric in the control room, I know you said if I would have told you ahead of time, you could put this up, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So this is,
it's kind of. I don't want to say lifeless. It's kind of. What would you call that? Is that a right word? Lifeless?
yeah,
Kind of flat.
it's kind of flat.
It's
and
long.
droopy.
It's past her shoulders.
Yeah.
It's kind of flat.
So, yes, in that case, looking at her picture, now I've just changed my mind for my answer because without seeing the picture, I was going to say,
There's her
yeah, the
there.
cut. It's not always about the cut because sometimes it's just your curl pattern. It is what it is. You have what you have. So, we can all dream that we have a different curl pattern, but it's not going to happen unless you set it manually. And then you still may not be happy. And that's a lot of work. So I mean, I have clients that have the finer curls and, I know what you're saying. It is, harder to get them to clump and, they're just smaller, like stringer curls, but that's the curl pattern that you have. So you have to work with it. You can manually take your hands and your fingers and, do finger coils and try to get things, your hair to clump in bigger sections. There's things like that you can do. But now looking at her picture, she could use a haircut. And, I feel like some layers would bounce it up. Yeah, it's kind of long and pulling down. So I find a lot of times people come into the salon that way. But, then I cut it. I take some of that weight out, do some layering. Give it a different shape. And then, of course, again, going back to using the proper products and applying them properly. So, probably a mousse and a firm hold gel for her will bounce it up very nicely.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Let's do one more question and then we'll wrap it up. During the winter months, I use a hair dryer.
Oh, you just reminded me. I wanted to say one more thing about that. But you said she lives in Maine. So definitely the weather does affect your curls. So if you're in a drier climate, then that could be like my hair is not as full and big and bouncy and curly when I'm in a drier climate. It's going to be, flatter and straighter. So that could be part of the problem as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do one more question. During the winter months, I use a hair dryer because I'm too cold to wait for my hair to dry on its own. But this makes my hair feel and look super dry. What products can I use to restore moisture or what other alternatives to the hair dryer?
Well, we have part of your solution coming out soon, I think. Definitely a deep conditioning treatment will help if you're not doing one. So periodically adding that into your routine.
To your right,
Ooh,
top
okay.
on my list
All
up
right.
there,
Oh, where?
number 1.
Oh, deep conditioner.
Yeah,
Create.
about a week. About a week.
Okay, well,
Yep.
there you have it. So we have a fantastic deep conditioning treatment coming out. But, You can try other brands.
I'm probably going to do a Black Friday launch just so you guys know. I literally we're looking at the list here, right here, the things. All that's left is the label. So everything's ready. So my guess is just because today's what, the 16th already? Probably do a Black Friday launch of it.
Cool.
But I'm making a small run. So grab them, and so if you want
I
one,
want
grab one.
some.
But it's really good.
I want some.
Yeah, I know. I'll
It's
keep
really
one.
good. I love it.
Yeah. If you're a stylist, actually, if you're a Raw Curl salon, send me a private message and say, yeah, I'd want one of those, because otherwise I'm going to just sell them because I want the money.
You need to sell them.
I know.
So anyway, yeah, we will talk about that later. But okay, so yeah, you may need to adjust, using a different product, something that's more moisturizing, hydrating, adding a treatment to your routine. You could even, there's other conditioning treatments done in the salon. So we offer several different ones. A fun one that just came out is just a quick little, it's called a shine shot. So it's conditioning and shine done right at the bowl. It's from, I think that was O&M. It's
It is O&M.
yeah,
I saw it yesterday at the
yeah.
salon.
I had a
Yeah.
picture of that because I usually use OA products, but that one's an O&M product, and it's really fun. We do of course, the cryotherapy. That's amazing. There's all different kinds of things that you can have that, if you don't want to do just conditioner at home, because we have, better tools that will help even more to condition the hair and rehydrate it and smooth it. What else? What was the question?
Any alternatives to the hair dryer?
Oh, the dryer.
What she can do to restore moisture. That's it.
Again, the dryer. So, you can actually get like a cheap little hooded dryer. You can get like a countertop one at Sally's, or I'm sure online. You can get one on on wheels, like a tripod one, very reasonably, I'm sure on Amazon or whatever. Those are great because it's a gentle heat. It's not really drying, to the hair, because it's not a strong blast of heat. Even that's why we use the diffusers. That's what they're made for, to diffuse the heat from, the dryer. So, and typically I'm just, some people are so, again, afraid of, using the dryer or the diffuser, but if it's done properly, it can be great. The CIC Beauty Diffuser is wonderful because it has 3 attachments. It has a flat screen that would be used kind of instead of sitting under the hooded dryer. So you could hold that around the hair to, get to like 50 to 80% dry and then diffuse. But typically I'm using the diffuser at the very end after the hair is 50 to 80% dry, for 5 minutes or less. So, you're not using it on the hair for very long. And then you have the diffuser on there, which is softening that air and the heat. So I don't find that, you're doing much damage at all.
All right.
And then, we're using products like the gels and the anti-frizz, sprays, or the leave-in conditioners, all are, protecting the hair.
Okay, good. All right, I think that's it. Oh, let's do one more question.
Oh,
Let's do one more question.
okay.
All right. Melanie.
Yes.
Oh, Melanie, what is the difference between $25 hair scissors from Amazon and professional scissors? Is it more expensive? Are the more expensive ones sharper or stay sharper longer despite being used 24/7, so to speak? Can the cheaper ones damage your hair despite feeling super sharp?
Yes. So, okay, there's going to be a huge difference between, I'm trying to think of a good analogy.
Your $1,000 shears
Yeah. Um,
and a $35 one?
yeah,
$25
$25
one?
shears. Okay, so I don't know. What can so is there a difference between a McDonald's hamburger and, a Kobe beef burger?
That's a good example.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the quality of the meat, the quality of the steel, is going to be different. And that's going to, the professional shears that we use, yeah, like I get mine sharpened maybe once a year, maybe once every 2 years, because I buy a high quality shear that has a really high quality hard steel. They're super sharp, they stay sharp, but I take care of them. I oil them, I maintain them on a daily basis.
Nobody touches those.
Nobody touches those. No. Mm-mm. So, yeah, the cheaper ones, they're just, they're not going to hold up as well. They're not going to cut as nice. They're going to, rip through the hair. Like the expensive, higher quality steel shears that we use slide through the hair like butter. So they're not, again, ripping that cuticle, you're going to notice the difference. Like, even when I've used cheaper shears to teach classes, because I don't like to use my good ones necessarily on a mannequin, huge difference. Like it kind of gets stuck on the hair, so it's like pulling, and, you wouldn't want that on your hair, because if you want to call that damage, yeah, it's, it's gonna, roughen the cuticle and roughen those ends, which you're trying to, that's what you're trying to fix, is, freshen the ends, give them a nice clean cut. And instead you're going to get, it's still going to look split, or, so big difference. And definitely they're not going to stay as sharp for as long.
Yeah. Have you ever cut yourself with your shears?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I have a scar. I like almost cut my knuckle off.
Oh, have you ever cut a client?
No.
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 Have you ever dropped them?
No.
Okay, good.
No. I have other people that drop their shears all the time. Sad, because yeah, they
Are they
that
fragile that
damages.
way?
Yeah. Yeah. If you drop them, you've got a problem. Yeah. So no, I'm very particular. I'm open to sharing, like, my dryer and diffuser, but don't touch my shears. No. Like I had the girls try, I think it was my Karg shears, my dry cutting. They're like large and a rounded blade, and they wanted to try them before they bought them, and I was like, I was so nervous standing there, and it was just for, like, cut a few pieces of hair and that's it, give them back, because yeah, I don't.
Don't touch my stuff.
No, I don't like that, because they are expensive, and I do take care of them, and that makes a difference. Yeah, because if they're dropped, they're toast a lot of
Okay.
times. Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. All right, let's wrap it up for tonight. So, thank you again for joining us.
Thanks.
Really appreciate you being here for the Curly Hair Q&A show. Tell your friends, if you're on Instagram, please give us a like, and subscribe, and tell your friends to subscribe as well. Instagram, we'll see you guys next week as well. Thanks for joining us, and have a great
Curly week.
see you later.